Ha ha ha. Welcome, welcome, welcome to my time. Hey, hey, hey. I have been to the hilltop. Where have you been? I have been to the peak of the land. What did I see? I see happiness flowing in the clouds. I see multitude raising their hands in expectation of happiness. But happiness seems far away. What do I see? I see a people working so hard, but little to show for it. I see them struggle, but within their struggle, I see the strength that exudes from their hearts. Even though they sit crying, shedding tears, I see hope and the horizon. They will be fine. They will rise and shine, and they will fly so high. Have no fear. Everything good will come. The radio man has come. Welcome to my word. Welcome to my class. Welcome to reason. Welcome to education, information. The program is State Affairs on Splash 105.5 FM, the Integrity Station. I am Edmund Obilo. You can call me the radio man. The radio man is here. You see, we will be fine. But to be fine is to work hard. To work hard is to think clearly. To think clearly is to think of community. I am talking of self-love. From self-love, you love the community. If you love yourself and you don't love the community, your actions will always be against the common good. When the people love themselves, they fight for the common good. What is common good? If you feel that it is your right to build a house under drainage, and because you have the money to do so, you build your house under drainage, and flood comes and the community is submerged, you have worked against the common good. And it has to do with mindset. Africa is poor because Africans are imbued with poor mindsets. It's our mind that makes us poor. It is the poor mindset of the leadership that makes Africa poor. What is poor mindset? As a governor, you know that education is the key to development. As a senator, as a member of the House of Assembly, you know that education is the key to development. But you connive among yourselves to embezzle funds for education. That is poor mindset. A rich mindset would say, if I spent the money on education to build primary schools, to bring in chairs into secondary schools, our children will learn. Because they have learned, they will have good mindsets, they will become rich, and the society will become rich. And as the society becomes rich, even the politician becomes richer, because the politician is also part of society. There are times I feel that without stealing, we can even be richer if we did things right. Can you see the number of billionaires in America and China? We don't have that number in Nigeria. It simply tells me that if we did the right thing, we will produce more billionaires. And I also know that changing mindsets takes time, and persistence is never easy. You know, our mind was colonized. Our minds were colonized for a very long time, over a period of more than 100 years. I also know that changing mindset requires a collaborative effort from individuals, communities, organizations, and governments. By working together and adopting a growth-oriented mindset, we can create a more progressive and inclusive society for the future. Education is the key. Education. On this edition of State Affairs, the literary icon Neo Shudari will be reflecting with me. It is the reflections of Ni Oshudari on State Affairs. But wait. ECOWAS is not giving up. ECOWAS is fighting back. ECOWAS has ordered the deployment of a standby force to restore constitutional order in the Republic of Niger. What does that mean? Standby force. Stand and wait. We give you the order, you move in. In Oyo State, Governor Seyi Makinde talks about sustainable actions for economic recovery. The governor calls it safer. Mr. Governor, are we safe? He says we are safe. What is Governor Makinde talking about? He says his government plans to stimulate the economy through short-term plans that will have long-term effects. In that case, it is sustainable. That is what the governor is saying. He says that the government he leads have made direct interventions, such as food relief package to 200,000 of the poorest of the poor households. You know, there's a new lexicon here. The government of the day in Nigeria is no longer talking about the poor. They are tired of saying the poor. They are more concerned about the poorest of the poor. Can you see the redefinition? You see, the large number of the poor, they cannot manage it. Now, they have gone to look at that large number and say, no, let's look at the poorest of the poor. Can you get that? And Governor Makinde is also using the term, the poorest of the poor. So who will take care of the poor? Makinde says he has a package for the poorest of the poor. But if you read further, perhaps he also has packages for the poor. Food relief package for 200,000 to 200,000 of the poorest of the poor households. 200,000 households. So let's assume you have 10 persons in the households. 10 times 200,000. That's about 2 million. 2 million of poorest of the poor. I'm assuming that you have about 10. Let's say 5. Let's say 5. That's about 1 million. You know, poor people have a lot of children. You are poor. You have 7 children. Now you they cost wahala. You don't have money, but you have children everywhere. And you are blaming government too. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Huh. On a very good day, you should be punished. If government is responsible, you should be punished for having 6 children that you cannot take care of. The first one is 1. Second one is 2. Third one is 3 years. Third one is, you can't plan. You're causing problems for yourself. Now you have brought these children, they will become burden on society. You can't take care of them. Some of you don't have money. You have 4 wives. 4 wives. We should begin to regulate society. Lay down laws to regulate human behavior so that we can protect the future. I'll talk about Makinde's safer agenda. Safer means sustainable actions for economic recovery. It's about the reflections of Ni or Shudari.
January 1953, when my father came to my mother and said, let's take this boy to school. And my mother said, oh yeah, Jew, that is, he speaks well, he speaks intelligently, but he's still too small. And my father said, no, let's take him all the same. And they dragged me out and poured water on me. It was the Harmattan, and I was shaking. And my father was walking in front, tall man, and he was a farmer, very strong. And I was hopping behind him. And they took me to St. Luke's Primary School in Ikerekiti, Primary 1B. I will never forget that. My parents were not under obligation to put me in school because that was 1953, 2 years before education became compulsory in the western part of Nigeria. And there were so many colleagues of mine that didn't have that opportunity. I remember them today. Many of them are dead today. And I don't think a day passes without my remembering my past. And people say, I consider myself absolutely lucky. We finished at St. Luke's Primary School in 1959. There were 64 in our set. Only 3 of us could make it to secondary school. How can I remember that and be happy? I'm grateful, quite all right, but, others, they've perished. One of them I met in 1982. I was coordinating the English Department's annual African Literature Conference, Language and Style in African Literature, so 1982. And people came from different parts of the world. A friend of mine came from Kenya, and I went to the university guest houses to see him and to settle him. And I said, come, you want to drink? He said, yes. So rang the bell or whatever. And a young man walked in, took our order, then came back later, put the beer on me. And I saw that he was avoiding my eyes. Avoiding my eyes, I know. So as he rose to go back, then I saw the right part of his face, and I saw a mark here. And I remember how he got that mark. I think people were playing, and they scratched his whatever with one sharp object. And I remember the person who did that was flogged for doing so. But the flag, and I called his name. And he said, yes, sir. My classmate in primary school. I rose and I embraced him. He couldn't embrace me. He was rigid. I had to put him in, I said, don't sir me, don't say sir. If you told, he said it in Ikere dialect, where God has placed me. I shed it.
Sorry about that. Huh. That's the story of a country.
I'm sorry.
I feel your pain.
I shed tears that day, you know. We used to play together in the dust. We finished same year. His father couldn't provide 50 pounds that the secondary schools were asking for. My father was able to do it because he had cocoa farm, you know. So when people ask me, why are you like this? Because I know where I came from. And I know that no society should allow people to suffer that way. No. Education is a society that deprives the able from having the education to their best ability, is disabling them. This is why our country is like this. Our country lives in darkness because it doesn't look for light. You know, stealing our money all over the place. Vote money for education, you steal it. Vote money for the hospitals, you steal, and people are dying of diseases. Vote money for good bridges, you steal, and rains come. The first or two rains take away the bridges, along with people. You know, no. We could do better. Our graph is going down, down, down. I knew this country when it was better, you know. So that was the last I saw of my friend. A couple of years ago when I got home and I was told he was dead.
State Affairs with Edmund Obilo is live.
Yes, that's Professor Oni Oshudari is there. Oshudari is Nigeria's pride, that great poet. Should I call that the lamentation of Oshudari? But Oshudari is reflecting on Nigeria. How often do you read him? That great mind, that literary giant. Oshudari is poetry himself. I want you to read more of him. There is a book by Oshudari, Dialogue with My Country. Dialogue with My Country. Have you read this book? Are you watching me on Splash FM page, on Facebook? Are you watching me on Splash FM YouTube page? You can see the book. I want you to read it. You know, Ayobanjo says, those who are only familiar with Ni's poetry and judge his prowess as a writer by it apprehend but half of the man. Ayobanjo continues. I'm talking about Ayobanjo now, the professor. He says, if Oshudari's verse is redolent of Nigerian romanticism, his essays, as exemplified in this book, Dialogue with My Country, portray the realism of a keen and critical intelligence. If you are a young person, you are interested in the philosophy of leadership. If you are a young person, you are interested in the politics of progressivism, read this book by Ni Oshudari. It is titled Dialogue with My Country. I can always help you find them. If you don't know where to get the book, you can always contact me. You have my number, 080-309-18449. 080-309-18449. Remember, State Affairs app is now on iOS. You can now download State Affairs app on your iPhone, on your iPod. And we are streaming on State Affairs app as I speak to you. Go on Google Play Store, download the app. We are also streaming on Edmund Obilo's pages on Facebook, on State Affairs page on Facebook. The program is State Affairs on Splash 105.5 FM, the Integrity Station. I'll be back after this break. Don't go away.
Here we go!
State Affairs with Edmund Obilo is live. Stay tuned.
Bàbá, ẹ dákun a fẹ́ wọnú ẹgbẹ́ àgbà. Àìsàn abáàdì tí ń ṣọ̀rẹ́ mi. Ó ti lo gbogbo oògùn. Ó ní ọlọ́rìí fẹsẹ̀ létọ̀ọ́. Lóòótọ́ làwọn àìsàn afinni nàkànàkàn bẹ̀ tó jẹ́ pé tí wọ́n bá rọ́ọ̀lù yàn pẹ́rẹ́ fúnra oníkọ́ ní ọ̀fẹ́ máa fẹnu ara rẹ̀ pẹ́kú. Aṣíwájú elégbòogi herbal therapy lọ́nà àbáyọ bírú ẹ̀ bá ṣẹlẹ̀ mọ́ wulẹ̀ po kámbáàdì mu nítorí àìsàn tí òjú tásíwájú elégbòogi ó tán pẹ́pẹ́ dànù. Àwọn irinṣẹ́ àgbàlódé ló sẹ̀ ti kalẹ̀ yìí tí wọ́n kọ́kọ́ fi ṣàyẹ̀wò kí wọ́n lè mọ tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ lágọ̀ọ́ ara gan lábẹ́ ìdarí akọ́ṣẹ́mọṣẹ́ medical consultant tó dúró tán. Gbàgàdà lọ́fíìsì wá sí dàálẹ̀ látàgò 9 àárọ̀ sí 4 àrọ̀lẹ́ lọ́jọ́ Monday sí Friday, àgò 9 àárọ̀ sí 3 ọ̀sán ni lọ́jọ́ Saturday. 49 Sango UI Road beside Fat Oil Filling Station opposite Sango Police Station Ibadan. 0802-223-3370 0802-223-3370. Ẹ dúró gbé gbogbo ẹ̀sán tí ń jẹ kòbókò lọ́wọ́ aṣíwájú elégbòogi herbal therapy.
Hello? James, look, I'm on the expressway. My car just broke down. I don't even know what to do.
Sorry, you do not have sufficient credit to continue this call.
Oh, please, no.
Why not?
This is an important call.
Then you should have recharged.
I would, but I'm in a position where I can't.
Why not borrow some credit then?
Borrow credit? How?
With Glow Borrow Me Credit, you can borrow airtime and pay later. It's easy. Just dial *321# and follow the instructions.
Wow, that's fantastic.
Glow is always there for you when it matters most.
Sorry, James. As I was saying, my car just broke down now and I have no help here.
Talk now, pay later with Glow Borrow Me Credit.
Glow Unlimited.
Boa Cement PLC win with the King promo. From August 10 till reach 31st October 2023, making a just continue to the buy Boa Cement and stand the chance to win one of the 4 MG5 executive saloon cars. The grand prize, through raffle draw, 16 millionaires dreams go come to reality. As 16 people go win 1 million naira each as consolation prizes for this Boa Cement win with the King promo. Tricycles, television set, generator, Boa branded t-shirt, Android phones, including rechargeable lamps, they available for grabs. Cement worries, don't go. Lot of free Boa Cement bag. Also, they to support in a construction project. Na season of surplus free airtime for calls and data. Buy Boa Cement. Scratch the card where they inside to refill your price. Call the number on the scratch card. Making a call 0916-9981-648 or 0916-8948-542. Terms and conditions. Boa Cement, King of Strength.
Omo, our eye don't see way for this cash palava. As conductor they shout, as it enter sweater with your change. Market women go dey holla.
I beg, this one don't say no fit collect now.
Supermarket people go dey tell you say,
okay, we no get change. I beg, use and take sweet now.
When you come see that better yama roasted fish with all the hungry you since in come.
I no carry my wallet come out too.
See, life not suppose hard like this, so now make all of us for Nigeria they pay for everything with Momo. Dial *671# or download the new Momo app. Make you follow enjoy this better life. Momo, better than cash.
My baby is 6 months old. Oh my, 6 months old? Wow! Now your baby needs more than breast milk. It's time to introduce mashed meals. In addition to breast milk, begin to give your baby mashed meals that contain at least one item from each of these 5 food groups: eggs, fish or meat, fruits and vegetables, oils, beans, groundnuts, soya or millet, rice, potato, maize or yam from 6 months. In addition to breast milk, your baby needs this combination of food types to grow healthy. This message is from the Anring Project or your state's Ministry of Health.
Here you go, dear.
Mom, you didn't add milk.
No need to. Taste it and see why.
Wow, but how?
Is it milky?
Very.
Is it creamy?
Yes.
That's Milo 3-in-1 milky and creamy for you. It's so milky. I don't need to add more milk.
I love it, Mommy.
Give your kids the new Milo 3-in-1, milky and creamy. It's truly milky. It contains calcium to help your champ win every day. Milo, energy to go further.
Milo!
It's Boa Cement PLC win with the King promo. Hooray! From August 10 to 31st October 2023. Buy and keep buying Boa Cement to stand the chance to win one of the 4 MG5 executive saloon cars. The grand prize through a raffle draw. That's not all. 16 millionaires dream will become reality. As 16 people will win 1 million naira each as consolation prizes in the Boa Cement with the King promo. Tricycle, Boa branded t-shirts, television set, generators, Android phone, and rechargeable lamps are available for grabs. Cement worry is gone. Lot of free Boa Cement bags also on offer to support your construction project. It's the season of surplus free airtime for calls and data. Buy Boa Cement, scratch the card inside and refill your price. Call the number on the scratch card. Call 0916-9981-648 or 0916-8948-542. Terms and conditions apply. Boa Cement, King of Strength.
Have you thought of studying abroad and you want to make this a reality? Mark your calendars on 14th August. University of Chester, UK is coming to our city. Join us at Cotton Gate Exclusive Hotel Conference Hall, Ibadan, for a life-changing opportunity to pursue your dreams. The University of Chester offers over 300 courses covering health, engineering, business, nursing, and more. Very competitive tuition fees and guaranteed scholarships as well. A safe, serene study environment. So come and talk to us on the 14th of August at Carton Gate Exclusive Hotel Conference Hall, Ibadan, Nigeria, from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Call 070-8923-0020 for more information. That is 070-8923-0020. See you there.
Southwest, this is Jesus the Light. coming up every Sunday, 7 p.m., beginning July 2nd on Splash FM 105.5.
Ètò Jésù ní ìmọ́lẹ̀ ayé la mú wá tí ó máa bẹ̀rẹ̀ ní gbogbo alẹ́ ọjọ́ Sunday láago 7 bẹ̀rẹ̀ látọjọ́ kejì oṣù keje lórí iléeṣẹ́ rédíò Splash FM 105.5.
Just straight Bible teaching, no offering, no denomination.
Ẹ̀kọ́ Bíbélì pọ́nbélé la fẹ́ kọ́, kò sí ìdámẹ́wàá, kò sówó ọrẹ.
It is clear, compelling, convicting and comforting.
Àwọn ẹ̀kọ́ Bíbélì wọ̀nyí yóò tú òǹdè ẹ̀ṣẹ̀ àti ti ẹ̀sìn sílẹ̀ kúrò nínú ìgbèkùn wọn.
This is Jesus the Light every Sunday 7 p.m. beginning July 2nd on Splash FM 105.5.
Ètò Jésù nìmọ́lẹ̀ ayé rèé tí ó máa wáyé ní gbogbo alẹ́ Sunday bẹ̀rẹ̀ látọjọ́ kejì oṣù keje ọdún tá a wà nù rẹ̀ yìí níléeṣẹ́ rédíò Splash FM 105.5 Ìbàdàn.
Ọ̀rẹ́, ojú ti rí tó pẹ̀lú wàhálà owó bí apèrèsọ́pọ̀ ṣe ń pariwo.
Ọ̀gbẹ́ni, wọlé pẹ̀lú change ẹ̀ o.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ làwọn ìyálọ́jà náà máa pariwo.
Ẹ dákun, owó yín ti ya yín ilé gbà.
Àwọn ará ilé ìtajà ńlá náà máa sọ fún ẹ.
Ọ̀gá, kò sí change, ẹ fi mú súwìtì.
Nígbà tó bá tún wá rí iṣu tàbí ẹja yíyan tó ti ń pòǹgbẹ rẹ̀ tipẹ́.
Óò, mi mú àpamọ́wọ́ mi dání ṣá.
Kò yẹ kílé ayé le tó bá òun ló jẹ́ kí gbogbo wa ní orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà ṣe ń lo Momo láti fi sanwó fún gbogbo nǹkan. Pé *671# lórí fóònù rẹ tàbí kí o gba áàpù tuntun Momo sórí ẹ̀rọ ìbáraẹnisọ̀rọ̀ rẹ kí ìwọ náà lè gbé ìgbé ayé tó dùn pẹ̀lú wa. Momo, ó dára ju owó lọ.
State Affairs with Edmund Obilo is live.
The program is State Affairs on Splash 105.5 FM, the Integrity Station. Just on the front page of The Guardian, concerns as more Nigerians fall prey to fake bank alerts. How AMVCA created 27,000 jobs and revolutionized Africa's film sector. African Union backs ECOWAS response to Niger coup as Northern Coalition kicks. Interesting time in Africa. Africa also needs to unravel, and the Niger coup will hasten the unraveling of the African continent. On the front page of The Nation, U.S. ECOWAS warned Niger junta over ousted president. EU-AU expressed concern over Bazoum's poor condition in detention. Tragedy as 4 die in Zaria Central Mosque collapse. That's sad. Obaseki, my deputy, is so desperate for power. He plotted coup against me. Obaseki says his deputy is a coup plotter. Are we coup plotters? Is coup plotting just about the military? When elections come and politicians rig election, is that not coup plotting against the people? Perhaps even the democratically elected leaders are coup plotters in their own way. Are they really democratically elected? Some of them, not all of them. No, we tend to confuse civilian rule with democracy. They are not the same thing. Democracy is the free choice of the people to choose their leaders. Once you intervene, you have derailed democracy. Once you use the military or police or you use money to rig the election, you have derailed democracy. It is no longer democracy in the true sense of the word. So some people who call themselves Democrats in Africa are not really Democrats. When you use thugs, you arm gunmen to intimidate voters, you're not a Democrat. Sometimes when I listen to the discussion inside me, I say, oh, I beg you, are they really Democrats? But what we have is better than military leadership, anyway. I don't want military. Let's continue to struggle with our democracy. Somehow, we'll fix it. We'll get it right. Democracy is a journey. You know, yes, you lose today, then go back to the drawing board. Let's continue to struggle. Grab it. The Nation. Report, CBN owes JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs $15 billion cash receipt. Apex Bank pledged foreign securities in return for cash. Have you seen that report that was released by the CBN? And Buhari said nobody should come near him for any investigation. So Buhari, if you come near you, what will you do? Buhari messed CBN up. He messed CBN up. You know, Emefiele is a scapegoat, not Buhari. It's Emefiele that's a scapegoat, not Buhari. He has warned us not to come near him. Oh. He even threatened that if we disturb him, he will go to Niger. Buhari, go to Niger now. Go to Niger. We want you in Niger. Go and stay there. Tinubu will invade Niger. I hope bullets will not touch you. All right. I'm just waking up the former president. It's about Niger. There was an extraordinary summit of the Economic Community of West African States in Nigeria. The president of Nigeria, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, is the chairman authorities of heads of state of the ECOWAS, and the summit was held in Nigeria on Thursday. Our president gave a welcome address. In this speech, he talks about the road so far.
All avenues of engagement to ensure a swift return to constitutional governance in Niger. More specifically, as leaders of our respective nations, we must recognize that the political crisis in Niger not only poses a threat to the stability of the nations, but also has far-reaching implications for the entire West African region. By remaining steadfast in our adherence to the principle of democracy, good governance, and the rule of law, we can restore peace, stability, and prosperity in the Republic of Niger, thereby fostering an environment conducive for growth and development for all. Esteemed Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, I'm confident that the second ECOWAS Extraordinary Summit today on the socio-political situation in Niger will be a defining moment in our journey towards a stronger, more resilient, and integrated West Africa. Let us seize this opportunity to make a lasting impact on the lives of our fellow Africans. Who else can do it except us? We must resolve to do it ourselves. I extend my gratitude to each of you for your attention to this critical issue. I trust that our deliberation will be productive and fruitful. leading us to finding an amicable solution to the political crisis in Niger. As we continue to work together in solidarity and harmony, we can ensure a prosperous future for the entire continent, not just only West Africa and sub-region, but our continent, Africa.
State Affairs with Edmund Obilo is live.
That's President Bola Tinubu talking about ECOWAS. What do you think? You know, there he sounded diplomatic in his presentation. He didn't even talk about military intervention. By the way, it is not about Tinubu, it's about ECOWAS. He's just the present chairman of ECOWAS. So in that speech, he was diplomatic. But at the end of the summit, a communique was read by the president of the ECOWAS Commission, Dr. Omar Toure. Let's listen to Dr. Toure.
The authority, having considered the memorandum presented by the President of the ECOWAS Commission on the current situation in the Republic of Niger, as well as ECOWAS engagements since the last extraordinary summit, and having considered the reports of the envoys of the chair to Niger and various other places, carefully considered the report and recommendations of the ECOWAS Committee of Chiefs of Defense Staff, extensively discussed the latest development in Niger since the last extraordinary summit held on 30 July 2023, noted that all diplomatic efforts made by ECOWAS in resolving the crisis have been defiantly repelled by the military leadership of the Republic of Niger, taking note of the expiration of the one-week ultimatum given for the restoration of constitutional order in the Republic of Niger, decide as follows. A, reiterates its strong condemnation of the attempted coup d'etat and the continued illegal detention of President Mohamed Bazoum, his family, and members of his government. B, further condemns the condition in which President Bazoum is being detained and hold the CNSP fully and solely responsible for the safety, security, and physical integrity of President Bazoum, members of his family, and government. C, uphold all measures and principles agreed upon by the extraordinary summit held on Niger on 30th July 2023. Underscore the determination of the ECOWAS authority to keep all options on the table for the peaceful resolution of the crisis. Enforce all measures, in particular border closures and strict travel bans and assets freeze, on all persons or groups of individuals whose actions hinder all peaceful efforts aimed at ensuring the smooth and complete restoration of constitutional order. Warn member states who, by their action directly or indirectly, hinder the peaceful resolution of the crisis in Niger about the consequences for their action before the community. Call on the African Union to endorse all the decisions taken by the ECOWAS authority on the situation in Niger. Further call on all partner countries and institutions, including the United Nations, to support ECOWAS in its effort to ensure a quick restoration of constitutional order in conformity with its normative instruments. Direct the President of the Commission to monitor the implementation of the sanctions. Direct the Committee of the Chief of Defense Staff to activate the ECOWAS standby force with all its elements immediately. Order the deployment of the ECOWAS standby force to restore constitutional order in the Republic of Niger. Underscore its continued commitment to the restoration of constitutional order through peaceful means.
State Affairs with Edmund Obilo is live.
Okay, you listened to the communique that was read after the extraordinary summit in Abuja on Thursday. These lines are of particular interest to me. Direct the Committee of the Chief of Defense Staff to activate the ECOWAS standby force with all its elements immediately. That line. Direct the Committee of the Chief of Defense Staff to activate the ECOWAS standby force with all its elements immediately. Look at this line. Order the deployment of ECOWAS standby force to restore constitutional order in the Republic of Niger. Underscore its continued commitment for the restoration of constitutional order through peaceful means. I don't get it. I don't understand this. 1. ECOWAS has ordered the deployment of the ECOWAS standby force to restore constitutional order in the Republic of Niger. At the same time, the communique says that ECOWAS underscores its continued commitment for the restoration of constitutional order through peaceful means. How? Peaceful means. Standby force. You know, a standby force uses force. Anyway, you can use force to achieve peace. Perhaps that is what ECOWAS is trying to say. Has ECOWAS ordered the invasion of Niger? I don't understand. Perhaps ECOWAS is being careful. Perhaps Tinubu is being careful. But that's what's going on. Are you watching this morning? Are you Xing me on X, former Twitter? E. Obilo on X. E. Obilo on Instagram. Find me. Edmund Obilo on LinkedIn. You can find me. Edmund Obilo on Facebook. I have 2 Facebook pages. Edmund Obilo. We are streaming on the pages. And I'm happy you are watching. Are you on State Affairs? There's a State Affairs page on Facebook. Download State Affairs app on Google Play Store and iOS. Search your iOS, your Apple Store. You will find State Affairs Edmund Obilo in Apple Store. Download it and you can listen to the program on the app. Download State Affairs app on Google Play Store. Right? And you can join the dialogue with the radio man. Let me see here. I can see Daniel Obaje. Daniel Obaje is saying freedom now. Freedom. Freedom. Justice is freedom. Education is freedom. Good health is freedom. Our hospitals are in poor state. Parents cannot afford hospital bills. We have not activated health insurance in such a way that it has become universal insurance. Millions cannot eat, yet we have abundance of land. Petrol is so expensive, yet we have abundance of oil. In the midst of abundance, the people suffer. There is river there, ocean in Lagos, Niger Delta water, yet the people don't have water to drink. Do you wonder why? There's so much land, yet there are many homeless people, no housing. Our children go to school, but no teacher to teach them well. Even the teachers have been dehumanized, that they have lost morale. Our policemen on the streets look hungry and angry. Somehow, we'll make things right. It's your responsibility, my responsibility, our responsibility. Akintunde Omo is saying hello to the radio man. Akintunde, thank you for being here. Olawale Stephen, thank you for the compliment, Stephen. Benedict Eya is watching from Abuja. Timitokwe says good morning to the radio man. Daba AJ says the military is another instrument of diplomacy, a continuation of another means. I mean, I know what you're talking about. Somehow, war is another way to play politics. Because war is also politics. That's the point he's trying to make. Omo Bashonu Abiola says, I keep saying Nigeria's problem is purely systemic error. Take, for instance, colonial president's son was arrested and charges for money laundering. Colonial president? Who is colonial president? Can it happen in Nigeria? Who is colonial president? I think that must be a typo. Or are you talking about Joe Biden and his son? Toyin Ajayi says, we Africans need to use our faculties now. These Western and Eastern words are here to set us against ourselves, to enable them to exploit Africa more. But do you know the biggest exploiters of Africa are Africans? Those who have destroyed Africa more are Africans. African leaders. Sometimes we say colonial masters. Yes, they have their errors too. But those who have damaged Africa more are Africans. Do you think Europe and America would have been able to enslave us during the transatlantic slave trade if we did not aid it? Europeans were not coming into Africa to kidnap Africans. I hope you know. They were always on sea, waiting for Africans to kidnap themselves and sell themselves. The same mentality from the age of slavery till now is just changing forms. It's just changing forms, And Africans have not learned any lesson. It were Africans who were kidnapping Africans. A village will go and attack another village, kidnap some of those they can kidnap, take them to the sea to sell them, and Europeans will pay. Europeans were not coming in to kidnap us. And when they decided to invade us, they came with very few army, and then arrested many of us, and we joined their army and started invading and coming in. They came with very few army, but they came with weapons. They have a way of combat. That's what you call mind engineering. Europe re-engineered the minds of Africans. It was even so bad that we were trained in school for speaking our languages. Don't speak vernacular. In our schools, in my primary school, you speak vernacular in class, you are in trouble. In Benin, you speak Edo in class. The teachers, they will cane the hell out of you. It is the height of colonial mentality. You must speak English. Oh, you must eat with cutleries. You know, you hold it, you are struggling with your two hands, one knife here, one. I know they do amo. I don't do it. If I don't do it, you see me in public, I don't get that strength. You know, because once my two hands are engaged, I look vulnerable. At least let me keep one hand in case they say go, I can react. Use two hands, hold knives, I want to eat. You are taking all my time. A spoon is enough for me. And if time, I can't eat amala with spoon. I'm not saying it's wrong. If that's what you enjoy, fine. I know fit. I go wash my hands. But if you enjoy it, fine. You know, even Nigeria, we are bouncing back. We are gradually regaining our consciousness. You know, even in the way we dress, our music, we are coming back. We are gradually decolonizing. And that's not to say there's nothing good to learn from the Europeans. Yes, there's something to learn from their ways. They also learned, you know, Christianity and Islam does not come from Europe. Europe doesn't own Christianity. The two greatest religions in the world came from Asia. At the point in time, Baghdad was the intellectual capital of the world. What you call Oriental history. China, when you see China is emerging, don't think China is just coming. China had developed before America. Even before the Renaissance and the Enlightenment in Europe, China was already developed. Just that China, they fell, so they are rising again. That's what you call that long circle theory in political science, when you fall and rise. So don't just say now, yes, it's coming. No, China fell. So China is rising. Even before Europe rose, you know, you had the Ottoman Empire, the Arab nations. These Arab nations you are seeing now where you have terrorism. Have you studied the golden age of Islam? Do you want to study Islam? They say, I brought about some books on Islam, the golden age of Islam. So people have fallen, even Africa at some point. Just Africa did not record its history. Africa did not record its history very well. We are coming. Africa is coming. That is why I recommended the book to you, The Fortunes of Africa. That 5,000-year history of Africa. You need to read that book. There's this awakening you will get. There's this awakening you will get. You want to war. You say, no. No, we need to fix Africa. You begin to feel that way. You begin to feel it's your responsibility. Not really Sheyi Makinde or Tinubu. You begin to take responsibility for where Africa is. Most of the time I see people who don't take responsibility. You are always blaming somebody. You're always blaming somebody. Yes, government. But it's time you also take responsibility for some of your actions. Somehow, many of us have contributed to what we have become. But you won't accept it. Just check yourself. Ask yourself questions. Some of the wrong things you do. But because now you the drum, you feel you are okay. Or somebody made you do it. So let's take responsibility for where we are. On the Niger crisis, Ni Yoshidare wrote a letter to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. I asked the professor, why did you write Bola Ahmed Tinubu? The reflections of Ni or Shudari on state affairs. You wrote a letter recently to the president on the Niger coup. Why are you against ECOWAS military intervention in Niger?
Yeah, thank you. First of all, the archaeology of that short piece that I wrote. I don't miss the 6 o'clock news bits on Splash. I woke up and I heard about it. I cleared my eyes. Then I waited until I And it's really true that they are mooting a kind of attack on Niger. Somehow my blood started rising. I couldn't eat breakfast because Ukraine came to my mind, Sudan came to my mind. Who on earth can be thinking this way?
You even mentioned Libya in the letter.
Libya! Yes, Libya. What is... Then it came to my mind too that we are dealing with rulers who don't think about consequences. About 11 o'clock, I asked my young man to turn on the generator. I hardly ever do because of the noise, but I didn't care for the noise. So that was when I started writing that thing. I think it's about 750 words, it's really short. What led me to it is my fear and my concern that anybody will even moot that. Because as I said in the essay, how are you going to carry out this war? At that time, or before that time, Chad, Burkina Faso, Mali had literally recognized, because they were birds of the same feather, that guy. Then the link, historical, geographical, between Niger and both of us borrow our name from the river Niger, with so close. Then, I'm still alive yet, but I can say in my lifetime, I have witnessed about 6 or 7 coups and counter-coups in Nigeria. So when did Nigeria become a policeman, the policeman of West Africa? I was astonished and appalled and anxious at the same time. And I tell you, such things, flashes of inspiration come with passion. Oh, yes. So that was how it came about. And so many things I had at the back of my mind. The moment you begin a war, you never know how it's going to end. And I believe that it is important to tell the president that straight away. Because you do not rule by impulse. No.
You feel he did not consult enough?
If he had consulted, somebody there would have told him, this is absolutely impossible. No, you don't rule on impulse. That is, act first, think later, as happened with the subsidy thing. That is a ready way to tragedy.
You feel if any military intervention will allow violence to engulf the West African sub-region?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, the Sahel is already a war zone, although people are not calling it so. With the evisceration of Libya, now I think there are 3 Libyas. There's Libya, Benghazi, there's Libya, Tripoli, or whatever. It's chaos, as it is. Many of the weapons in the hands of the fighters are coming south. That is why we are not at peace in Nigeria, either in the north or south here. And ISIS is not dead. Al-Qaeda is not dead. No, they are still there. And what they do, they look for vulnerable parts of the world. No part of the world could be more vulnerable than the Sahel now. Poor economy, large, literally emasculated population, and then conniving leaders or rulers. So you throw a bomb or you fire the first shot in Niger, the whole of West Africa will be under fire. And then I was wondering, which foreign countries could be behind this? The Congo came to my mind. DRC is what they call it now. It's one of the richest countries in the world and one of the poorest at the same time. Ayikoyama once said it. The irony, tragic irony about Africa is that the more natural resources we have, the poorer we are. Why? Because the more we become attractive to foreign adventurers. You know, the battle for uranium in Niger, this is really the problem, with France and the United States really interested. And I was looking at the possibility of a proxy war, you know, as is happening in Ukraine now. So that's why I had to do that cri du corps, as it were. I have no gun, I have no church, I have no mosque. I don't control a radio station or whatever. How do you reach the people? That's why I did it, and then I sent it all over the place. And I'm happy that it came out in a number of places. I tell you, at the end of the day, when I had finished writing it, I had a little bit of peace of mind, somewhat, that one has been able to make this kind of intervention. And
you want the president to look inward. There are problems at home.
The problems at home. I mean, we are all hungry here, you know, because of these unfolding economic policies, you know. People are hungry and angry at the same time. And then the bandits are still with us. The last time I went home, I think it was 2019.
That was the last time you went home?
Yes.
Why are you running away from home?
COVID took 2020. Oh, it's my relations there who have been telling me there are kidnappers around. Yes, it was, and it is really true. So there is no peace either in the south or the north. And you have all these displaced people in the north, in their hundreds, in their thousands. You know, the United Nations is trying to cope, the governors and so on, trying to cope, and as if this were not enough. Now, are we going to add war refugees? And I was wondering, did our president put the map of West Africa on the desk when he was doing this and really see the interconnections, you know, particularly between Niger and Nigeria?
More than half of Niger speak Hausa. That is their language.
That's their language.
So you cannot really differentiate the border community.
No, in Sokoto, you walk, you know, after 2 minutes, 3 minutes, they say, you hear in French, and they say, oh yeah, this is Niger, which is how it should be. If France and Britain and others hadn't come, that's how we would have been. It was, all the boundaries in West Africa are artificial. You know, I remember, I once wrote an essay on the race to Nikki. The Nikki is a town or village then, the western border of Nigeria. That's very close to what we used to call Dahomey. The French wanted it, the British wanted it. But the British got it because they were closer to Nikki and they rushed to Nikki to sign an agreement with the local ruler. The French began their own journey from the Atlantic. By the time they got there, the deal had been done. So that's why you have some kind of dent when you draw in the map of the western part of Nigeria, the western border. You know, there's a place where it goes in and out. So our history and geography are so interrelated. This is why, again, we talk about education. We talk about the importance of education, of history. Education may not put $1 million in your bank, but it gives you more than what $1 million can buy. Our rulers need to learn more. They need to humanize their being by really, they need to go beyond functional literacy. You can never become, because that is the only way to transit from rulership to leadership, to transit from being a ruler, an oppressor, a leader, a person who cares, and a person who treats his or her, or the citizens, not as subjects, but as citizens.
State Affairs with Edmund Obilo is live.
Splash FM 105.5.
That's Professor Neo Shudari there. The prof is reflecting. He will be with me throughout the show. I spent some time with him during the week to capture his reflections, to listen to him, to look into his eyes. Shudari is the pride of Africa, that literary icon, a great teacher, Professor Oshudari. I have recommended his book to you, Dialogue with My Country. According to Ki Ndibe, Oshudari's columns in Newswatch and other Nigerian publications are paragons of the form. He is a consummate prose stylist, and his stance places him firmly on the side of the oppressed, the betrayed, and the emasculated. Read Oshudari's book, Dialogue with My Country. You can always contact me for books, right? If you don't know where to get this, contact me, but you will find it in bookstores around you. Oshudari is a great poet. Have you read his poetry? Snap Songs, Homegrown and Foreign Flares, Volume 1. You can see it here. You can see the book here. I'm holding it if you are watching on Splash FM page, on Splash FM YouTube page, you would find it. Look at it. Snap Songs, Homegrown and Foreign Flares. The way I recommend books to you, you can also recommend books you have read to me. Let me also look for them to read. I can find where to buy them. I can also bring them in. What I do now is to collect books, read, and also help people get books to read. I want us to read. Though times are hard, you can still buy a book. And if you can't afford a book, search online. When you are online, we are watching entertainment, yes, entertain yourself, comedy. But sometimes also look for soft copies of books online and read them. Read while you read. It is good to read. Why Tinubu speaks, when ECOWAS speaks, and when Oshudari speaks, I see the travails of democracy. Democracy is in crisis. Having examined the worsening poverty in Nigeria after more than 22 years of uninterrupted democracy, I'm tempted to ask, is democracy exploitation? This question arises from leadership failure made obvious by the poor management of health systems, education systems, transport, and other social infrastructures. As seen in the states of the Federation, Nigerian institutions have been undermined by the political leadership for self-preservation. There is no equity in income distribution as leadership expresses itself in high emolument and enjoyment of opulent lifestyle. What then is the value of Nigerian democracy? In Nigeria, democracy is also about election rigging, vote buying, police and army brutality, poor governance, and desecration of good values. Professor S. Kotoyo, while delivering the 2004 Wale Soyinka lecture, says Nigerian democracy is not a necessity for economic development. The late radical scholar was asked to speak on sustenance of democracy in a developing economy, but he reworked the topic to read the question of democracy in a development economy. He argues that the first topic is presumptive. To him, Nigeria has not aimed at democracy, and therefore there is no democracy to sustain. That was in 2004, 5 years into the Fourth Republic. But if you have read the Constitution of Nigeria, the Constitution defines democracy as common good. Section 14, subsection 1 of the Nigerian Constitution states that the Federal Republic of Nigeria shall be a state based on the principles of democracy and social justice, meaning that the primary purpose of government is the security and welfare of the people. That is not the case in Nigeria. The welfare of the people. It's like Awolowo saw the future when he wrote this book, The Travails of Democracy and the Rule of Law. The Travails of Democracy and the Rule of Law. When Awolowo wrote this, he said, these are books you should read. I'm not just talking about them for talking's sake. Lay your hands on these books and read. If you are interested in leadership, you need to know where we are coming from. Not just what you hear on the street and you run with them. If you want to have deep analytical mind, are your children listening to me? I'm interested in young persons because I'm interested in the future. Our young persons must begin to grow up with certain principles for good leadership. And they don't just fall from heaven. We need to inculcate it into them. Unfortunately, our education system does not indoctrinate the mind. No, it does not produce good citizens. The leadership is not an example of good citizenship. And that's not to say we don't have some examples of good leadership. We do. We just need to increase the number. So another book I'm recommending to you today is The Travails of Democracy and the Rule of Law by Obafemi Awolowo. You have my number, 080-999-18449. That's my number. I will help you get books. I will help you tell you where to get books. I also recommend the books you have read to me. I want to read more books. And don't just say, this radio man, is this all about books? No, I also do other things. But I find time to read, to develop my mind. Let's look at some historical issues. The book of the week They say, I have a book of the week. At some point, Fortunes of Africa was the book of the week. I think Toyin Falola's book was the book of the week last week. I'm talking about Nigeria, Ethnicity, Democracy, and Development. That's Understanding Modern Nigeria. Now, one of the best books to come out of Nigeria in recent time. Understanding Modern Nigeria. Now, there's this chapter, I think it's chapter 12, where Falola wrote about women marginalization. Falola talked about land and women. He talked about politics. A well-researched book. So if Africans are writing quality books like this, there's a bright future coming. So I also recommend this book. It was the book of the week last week. Understanding Modern Nigeria. Ethnicity, Democracy, and Development. You need to read. Now, listen to this. At some point, I was asking, how did Awolowo and Nnamdi Azikiwe, how were they able to confront oppositions? How were they able to confront distractions? How were they able to manage politics? How did they get money to run politics? I wanted to know. Unfortunately for me, Awolowo wrote a lot of books that gave me insight into how he managed politics. But there were also controversies, some of which led him to prison. So in the course of my research to know more, I stumbled on a book about 10 years ago. And it's still one of my best work. I hold it jealously. You know, newspaper publications before independence. And if you read those works, luckily a publisher decided to compile them into a book. Now, it's volume 1 and 2. Nigeria, the birth of Africa's greatest country. Volume 1 and 2. You read the articles of Obafemi Awolowo, Nnamdi Azikiwe, Tafawa Balewa in this volume. Nigeria, the birth of Africa's greatest country. Why did I stumble on this work? You see, the personality or the personal qualities of Obafemi Awolowo and Nnamdi Azikiwe were called to question in the First Republic. And charges were brought against them in the course of their politics. So one time, Osita Chidoka, a former Minister of Aviation, in a public forum, countered Professor Tunji Olaopa, a former Federal Permanent Secretary, on whether Awolowo was an angel. So in his argument, Chidoka took us back to the Coker Commission of Inquiry. Now, I am talking about understanding the past so that we are able to build a transformative today for the sake of the future. So if you've read history, and as you'll find in this work, Volume 1 and 2, Nigeria, the birth of Africa's greatest country, as you will also find in other books, even in Awolowo's books, he gave his own side of the story. Awolowo faced the Coker Commission set up to investigate the finances of the Western region. Awoists saw the commission as a grand plot to humiliate their highly revered leader. At that time, Awolowo was not in good terms with the leadership of the North, led by Edmund Obilo and Tafawa Balewa. The Prime Minister Balewa with the support of Samuel Akintola, decided to check the glowing profile of Awolowo. So the Coker Commission was set up. The discontent caused by the Commission's findings added to the political instability in the Western region, culminating in Operation Where-Tear, when thousands were killed to set. Get a copy of this volume. The two they come together, volume 1 and 2, they are together. Get a copy and read. I'll tell you about Ezekiel also in this work after this break. And after this break, I'll open the phone lines so that I can hear your voice. The program is State Affairs on Splash 105.5 FM, the Integrity Station. I am Edmund Obilo. Keep your messages coming. I will read them.
State Affairs with Edmund Obilo is live.
Splash FM 105.5.
Now that you have finished SS3 exams, what's next? Enroll for A-level program at OBMS Cambridge Advanced Level College, Total Garden, Ibadan for Cambridge A-level or JUPEP A-level program. It is your best option for admission into 200 level in Nigerian universities or admission to overseas universities. OBMS A-level college is known for excellent teaching, outstanding results, affordable fees, moral and spiritual development of students, and conducive boarding facilities. At OBMS A-level college, we also offer SATs, TOEFL, IELTS, GCE, UTME, and post-UTME coaching. For more information, visit our new complex along Total Garden NTA Road, Ibadan. Website, www.obmsng.com. Contact us on 0803-386-1091 and 0803-303-9588. OBMS A-Level College. Excellence through integrity.
Catch your favorite shows live on Facebook. Yes. You can watch your favorite presenters and listen to your favorite programs on our Facebook page every day. Go to Splash FM 105.5 on Facebook. Like our page and get updates when your favorite program is streaming.
Jẹ̀bùn kàǹkà pẹ̀lú ọba pẹ̀lú olówó iyebíye nínú àǹfààní tí Brasmet PLC mú wá. Látọjọ́ kẹwàá oṣù kẹjọ títí dọjọ́ kọkànlélọ́gbọ̀n oṣù kẹwàá ọdún 2023. Máa ra símẹ́ǹtì Bra kò ní láǹfààní àti jẹ̀bùn ọ̀kan lára àwọn ọkọ̀ ayọ́kẹ́lẹ́ bọ̀gìnì MG5 mẹ́rin. Kò wá tọ́ síbẹ̀ báwọn mẹ́rìndínlógún ọ̀tọ̀ọ̀tọ̀ tó ṣe máa fẹ̀bùn mílíọ̀nù kan náírà ṣèfàjẹ́. Kò yẹ nìkẹ́ni sílẹ̀. Àwọn kẹ̀kẹ́ lẹ́sẹ̀ mẹ́ta, tẹlifíṣàn, ẹ̀rọ amúnáwá, ẹ̀rọ ìbánisọ̀rọ̀ aláfikàtẹ̀ lójú, tíṣẹ̀tì Bra ní ògbẹ́yìn, àwọn iná tó mọ́lẹ̀ jọkọtọ, tálẹ̀ rìchá ló wà nílẹ̀ lọ́pọ̀ yanturu láti fi ṣèfàjẹ́. Àìbalẹ̀ ọkọ̀ lórí ọ̀rọ̀ sìmẹ́ǹtì ó ti lọ. Bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ́pọ̀lọpọ̀ àpò sìmẹ́ǹtì Bra tó wà nílẹ̀ láti fi ṣàtìlẹ́yìn fún iṣẹ́ ilé kíkọ́ rẹ̀. Àkókò àti jẹ̀fà káàdì ìpè ọ̀fẹ́ àti dẹ́tà rẹ̀. Ra Bra Cement mú káàdì tó wà nínú rẹ̀. Gbogbo láti mọ owó ẹ̀bùn tó jẹ. Pé nọ́mbà tó ń bẹ lára káàdì tó bóyè. Fún ẹ̀kúnrẹ́rẹ́ àlàyé 0916-9981-68648 àti 0916-8948-542. Àdéhùn àtọ̀rọ̀ àjọsọ ń bẹ o. Bra Cement ọba okun.
It's a new dawn in the world of education as West Midlands Open University, WMOU, a new online university, receives licensing approval to offer degree granting programs in Nigeria. WMOU is bringing university education close to you in faculties of business, social sciences, and various courses like accounting, business management, economics, and lots more to choose from. Our courses are flexible and you get to choose your learning environment, which allows professionals and anyone in the workforce to further their education with ease. Flexible payment options are available, but various other ways to make studying with us more affordable. Enroll at WMOU to get that degree today. For more inquiries and updates, follow us on any of our social media platforms at WMOU Nigeria on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. On LinkedIn and YouTube, it's West Midlands Open University. Admission date for the September session will be announced soon, so get ready. WMOU, another first in the Ibadan's educational history.
Have you thought of studying abroad and you want to make this a reality? Mark your calendars on 14th August. University of Chester, UK is coming to our city. Join us at Cotton Gate Exclusive Hotel Conference Hall, Ibadan, for a life-changing opportunity to pursue your dreams. The University of Chester offers over 300 courses covering health, engineering, business, nursing, and more. Very competitive tuition fees and guaranteed scholarships as well. A safe, serene study environment. So come and talk to us on the 14th of August at Carton Gate Exclusive Hotel Conference Hall, Ibadan, Nigeria, from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Call 070-8923-0020 for more information. That is 070-8923-0020. See you there.
Here you go, dear.
Mom, you didn't add milk.
No need to. Taste it and see why.
Wow, but how?
Is it milky?
Very.
Is it creamy?
Yes.
That's Milo 3-in-1 milky and creamy for you. It's so milky. I don't need to add more milk.
I love it, Mommy.
Give your kids the new Milo 3-in-1, milky and creamy. It's truly milky. It contains calcium to help your champ win every day. Milo, energy to go further.
Milo!
ọmọ mi ti pọ̀ṣù mẹ́fà ẹ bá mi dúpẹ́ oṣù mẹ́fà ẹ bá mi dúpẹ́.
ó ti yẹ pọ̀ṣù mẹ́fà nìyẹn. ọmọ ò máa ń pẹ́ dàgbà o. báyìí o ọmọ rẹ ti wá nílò ju omi ọyàn nìkan lọ o. àkókò ti tó láti máa fún un ní oúnjẹ fífọ́ ní àfikún sí ọyàn. rí i dájú pé àwọn oúnjẹ ọmọ rẹ ní ó kéré tán ọ̀kan lára àwọn oúnjẹ àfọ́pọ̀ márùn-ún wọ̀nyí: ẹyin, ẹja tàbí ẹran, èso àti ewébẹ̀, epo tàbí òróró, ẹ̀wà, ẹ̀pà tàbí sóyà, ìrẹsì, ọ̀dùnkún, àgbàdo tàbí iṣu. ọmọ rẹ bẹ̀rẹ̀ láti oṣù mẹ́fà nílò omi ọyàn àtàwọn oúnjẹ wọ̀nyí fún ìdàgbàsókè àti ìlera. Máa fún wọn lọ́yàn títí yóò fi pé ọmọ ọdún 2 àti jù bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ. Ìkéde yìí wá láti àkọ́ṣeṣẹ́ ARIN, iléeṣẹ́ tó ń mójútó ètò ìlera ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́.
Are you in need of a nice and comfortable, fully furnished hostel accommodation in the University of Ibadan? Or are you in search of a place for seminars and executive trainings? Look no further. Adebayo Akonde Hall is the go-to place for your lodging needs with a home away from home feel. Adebayo Akonde Hall is a 4-star hostel built in a serene environment with constant supply of electricity. It has fully furnished rooms that gives you great comfort at an affordable price. Adebayo Akonde Hall is located at Ajibode Extension, University of Ibadan. For inquiries and reservations, visit www.adebayohall.com. or call 080-5699-8718 or 080-5699-8719 or 080-5699-8720. Adebayo Akonde Hall. Built for comfort. Built for you.
ọṣẹ kan ṣoṣo tó ń jẹ́ káṣọ máa dán kò kí n pẹ́ mi láti fọṣọ tán ọṣẹ gidi mi ò lè lóhun tí ò dáa Loviva kékeré fífa aṣọ púpọ̀ Loviva má sọ àkọ́kọ́ àtọwọ́ rẹ̀ nù Loviva. Mo fẹ́ràn Viva kò sọ́ṣẹ tó lè dàbí mo fẹ́ràn Viva títí láì. Viva mo fẹ́ràn Viva kò sọ́ṣẹ tó lè dàbí mo fẹ́ràn Viva títí láì. Viva mo fẹ́ràn Viva kò sọ́ṣẹ tó lè dàbí mo fẹ́ràn Viva títí láì.
Ọṣẹ àbùfọ̀ Viva Plus ọ̀gá ńlá ọṣẹ àbùfọ̀ látọwọ́ Aspira.
Need to see the best performance? Thank you. In person?
With almost 100,000 Instagram followers and over 100,000 followers on Twitter. Wow. And more than 250,000 followers on Facebook. Our followers are our greatest assets. Join our social media family for breaking news, daily information, and giveaways. On Instagram and Twitter at Splash FM 1055. On Facebook at www.facebook.com/Splash FM 105.5.
Splash FM 105.5.
State Affairs with Edmund Obilo is live.
Program is State Affairs on Splash 105.5 FM, the integrity station. Yes, you can call the radio station on 080-915-510-55. That is 080-915-510-55. So call the radio station on that number. You can also call the radio station on 080-569-98678. 080-569-98678. Call the radio station on 070-694-93000. Good morning.
Morning to you, the radio man.
Good morning.
Omo Basharu Styling.
Omo Basharu, good to hear your voice.
My take this morning has to do with the JECO. Actually, I'm not in support of the military junta by hijacking the democratic government of President Bazoum. So I'm appealing to the ECOWAS chairman, President Belamet, and the military junta to please dialogue and settle the matter amicably. They should not allow the intruders to come in and destroy the whole thing. Please, I'm begging them for the God's sake. Thank you. Have a nice day.
Thank you for calling the radio station. You are kind. The lines are open. Call the radio station. Say hello to the radio man. Hello, good morning.
Edmund.
Good morning.
Chief Suleiman
Baba.
Thank you very much. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Let me tell you that today is the second time you drew tears out of my eyes. Because when you were talking to Professor Neyo Sundari, at the starting day, he was shedding tears, and my tears from my eyes were uncontrollable. Let's put that aside. Nigerian problem. I've said it often times that it is sanction that can beat the military junta in Niger. Our president should use sanctions aided by the United Nations, the African Union, European Union, all the superpowers to bring the military junta down. Because of the instability we have in Nigeria here at the moment, one will not subscribe to military attack, military invasion of Niger. Even though the power of the Nigerian military cannot submerge 2 brigades in Nigeria. If there would be in some part of Ibadan here, but nobody, it was surprised that after the demise of Adelabu, the whole of Ibadan became I was territory. Even our fathers who were die-hard Adelabu, we forced them to appreciate our, because we enjoyed free primary education of our own. You see, what I was saying then that we did not follow was that, you see, Nnamdi Azikiwe believed he could contest election in any part of Nigeria. That was why he had the ambition of becoming the first premier of Western region. But that was overturned within 24 hours. Political stupidity started from this, and it has been on, except later after the military rule that we started realizing that a political party formed by a Obama belongs to the party. A political party formed by an Igbo man belongs to the East, and a political party formed by Northerners belongs to the West. We are coming, we shall reach the age where Nigeria will be one. Nigeria needs real integration, proper integration, where we will forget tribalism.
Thank you.
Where we will forget ethnicity. Everybody will participate to save Nigeria. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chief Bolariwa. Old soldier. He still wants to go to war. Baba. Like war. No war. I don't like war.
Good morning, Mr. Edmund.
Good morning.
Yeah, this is Emeka from Challenge.
Emeka, good to have you here.
Thank you, sir. You mentioned of the time of Operation West here in the West here. I read a book by Alex Adebo. Actually, the crisis started in the West here when they called Operation West here. That's why the military intervened. But my question is this, sir. Why is it that later they called it Igbo coup? Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Okay, I think to know why it was called the Igbo coup, you need to read different books. There are different perspectives to the issue. You know, Alexandra Madiebo's book would tell you its own story. He wrote about the Nigerian Revolution. Alexandra Madiebo became the head of the Biafran army. He was a top general in the Nigerian army before he joined Ojukwu to fight the battle. He wrote his own story. If you can find Madiebo's book, I'm trying to collect Madiebo's book. I had about 10 copies. They are all gone. But you can also read Why We Struck, because he participated in the coup. The author of that book participated in the coup. I'm talking about Adewale Ademoyega. Adewale Ademoyega. He was a frontliner in that coup, Major Adewale Ademoyega. He is not an Igbo man. So he tells the story in the book Why We Struck. And it's one of the best books ever written about the Civil War. Read it, you would understand why we are where we are. So from his perspective, was it an Igbo coup? It wasn't an Igbo coup. But if you also look at it from another angle, the coup was dominated by Igbo officers. That is the truth. The coup was led by mainly Igbo officers. Emmanuel Ifajuna, Kaduna Nzogu, Onwatuegu. At the end of the day, no top Igbo leader was killed in the coup. No top Igbo leader was killed in the coup. In fact, no top Igbo military officer was killed in the coup. Top northern military officers were killed in the coup. In fact, a northern military officer was killed with his wife. The two leaders in the north, Ahmadu Bello and Tafawa Balewa, were killed. Samuel Akintola, the premier of the Western region, was killed. And there were 3 regions then. There were 2 top Igbo men. Awolowo was in prison, so he wasn't killed. At least Awolowo was in prison. Nnamdi Azikiwe left the country before the coup. Did he know that a coup was about to happen? It wasn't even his. And Edmund Obilo knew that that coup was coming. Perhaps they underrated the coup. Even Akintola knew that that coup was coming. The premier of the Eastern region was not killed. That's Michael Okpara. So for those who make the argument that it was an Igbo coup, they will think in that line. For those who don't believe it was an Igbo coup, they will think, what were the reasons for the coup? Why did the boys strike? Who was going to benefit? Some said Awolowo was going to benefit. That their anger, what led to the coup, was that the North ganged up with Akintola to be oppressing Awolowo and sent Awolowo to prison. So the young officers felt Awolowo was the best brain to govern Nigeria. So they wanted to take over and release Awolowo from prison and hand the country over to him. That is one argument. We don't know. If they had taken over and they tasted power, perhaps they would have even killed Awolowo in prison. So nobody will even hear of Awolowo anymore. You never can tell. So that's the subject matter. So if you read this book, Nigeria, the Birth of Africa's Greatest Country, Volume 1 and 2, big books, you will understand the history of Nigeria. You need to know the history. The next leadership, we need philosopher kings as leaders. Philosopher kings. When I listen to Akpabio as Senate President, I say, God, Akpabio. See the way he talks as Senate President. I never want to be playing what he says. So uninspiring. So mundane. At this time, we need leaders that can inspire the people. During period of poverty, that is when countries even develop. During period of hardship, that is when innovation comes. At that point, who leads innovation is great leadership. They will motivate you. You will go out for the country. You will defend. Look at the way Nigerians are attacking Tinubu on Niger. On a very good day, we will stand with your president. On a very good day. Even when your president is wrong, if he's an inspiring leader, you stand with him. But you can see almost everybody saying, as if we are even backing Niger. Somehow, as if you're supporting the coup in Niger. Because the leadership at home has disappointed you. So anything that is against them, you stand for it. We must build great leaders, philosopher kings. Whenever I'm reading from third word to first word, I don't know if you can afford that book. Anybody that loves book, if you don't have it in your shelf, and you say you love politics, go and get the book. From third word to first word. You see how Lee Kuan Yew built Singapore. It's not magic. It's about philosophy. It's about vision. When you say visionary leadership, he was seen in the 1960s. He was seeing 50 years ahead. He knew the Singapore he wanted, and his team, in meetings, they were seeing the Singapore. They've not built it, but they were seeing it. As they were seeing it, they started acting it. They started walking it. To them, there was no impossibility. And they were living an exemplary life. What was good for Lee Kuan Yew was good for the cabinet minister. He was telling the story of how one of his best friends fell foul to the law, and he was a member of the system. He needed to pay for it. That means that everybody was the same before the law. You need to read that book, From Third Word to First Word, by Lee Kuan Yew, an autobiography. Read autobiographies. Read the works of Awolowo. Azikiwe wrote quality books. Read them. Read Kwame Nkrumah. These guys were philosophers. They were not angels. They made mistakes too. Leadership sometimes is also about mistakes. You make mistakes. Even Lee Kuan Yew made mistakes, and he stated them in his books. But what he did, he now built a leadership that would correct that mistake. And when he saw that he has built the Singapore of his dream, he stepped back. Though it was a benevolent dictatorship, but Africa has had dictators. Where did they take us to? Nowhere. Abacha was a dictator. He left us poorer. Babangida was a dictator. He left us poorer. Seseko was a dictator. He left Zaire in ruin. Even in Togo, today we have 4 in Yedema. His father led that country for more than 30 years. Where is Togo today? Go to Gabon. You have Omar Bongo in Gabon. His father governed that country for more than 25 years. Where is Gabon? An oil-rich country. Do you know about Gabon? We've had our own dictators. They didn't do anything. But dictators in Asia changed the face of Asia. Even in Spain, there was dictator. Franco. Franco was a dictator in Spain, the Spain of today. Even in Italy, the Italy of today, Benito Mussolini was a dictator, the fascist. But they also had some visionary eye, even though they were crazy men. Even Adolf Hitler had developmental strides in his head, even though he led the world to war. Within a period of 15 years, Germany rearmed itself, built some of the best weapons, and launched the Second World War after they were defeated in the First World War. Today, Germany is still the biggest economy in Europe. What about Nigeria? I'm looking for that leader that I want to follow, that will motivate me. But soon, let's play some adverts. I'll be back.
State Affairs with Edmund Obilo is live.
Splash FM 105.5.
Countdown 4, 3, 2, 1.
Don't stop, don't stop,
Get the box. Feel the music. On your ready. Splash, the height of entertainment.
Southwest, this is Jesus the Light.
Coming up every Sunday, 7 p.m., beginning July 2nd on Splash FM 105.5.
Ètò Jésù ní ìmọ́lẹ̀ ayé la mú wá tí ó máa bẹ̀rẹ̀ ní gbogbo alẹ́ ọjọ́ Sunday láago 7 bẹ̀rẹ̀ látọjọ́ kejì oṣù keje lórí iléeṣẹ́ rédíò Splash FM 105.5.
Just straight Bible teaching, no offering, no denomination.
Ẹ̀kọ́ Bíbélì pọ́nbélé la fẹ́ kọ́, kò sí ìdámẹ́wàá, kò sówó ọrẹ.
It is clear, compelling, convicting and comforting.
Àwọn ẹ̀kọ́ Bíbélì wọ̀nyí yóò tú òǹdè ẹ̀ṣẹ̀ àti ti ẹ̀sìn sílẹ̀ kúrò nínú ìgbèkùn wọn.
This is Jesus the Light every Sunday 7 p.m. beginning July 2nd on Splash FM 105.5.
Ètò Jésù nìmọ́lẹ̀ ayé rèé tí ó máa wáyé ní gbogbo alẹ́ Sunday bẹ̀rẹ̀ látọjọ́ kejì oṣù keje ọdún tá a wà nù rẹ̀ yìí níléeṣẹ́ rédíò Splash FM 105.5 Ìbàdàn.
It's a new dawn in the world of education as West Midlands Open University, WMOU, a new online university, receives licensing approval to offer degree granting programs in Nigeria. WMOU is bringing university education close to you in faculties of business, social sciences, and various courses like accounting, business management, economics, and lots more to choose from. Our courses are flexible and you get to choose your learning environment, which allows professionals and anyone in the workforce to further their education with ease. Flexible payment options are available, but various other ways to make studying with us more affordable. Enroll at WMOU to get that degree today. For more inquiries and updates, follow us on any of our social media platforms at WMOU Nigeria on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. On LinkedIn and YouTube, it's West Midlands Open University. Admission date for the September session will be announced soon, so get ready. WMOU, another first in the Ibadan's educational history.
Splash FM 105.5.
Quick, charge at 240.
Hot news, cool vibes, sports, and more on the Integrity Station.
BBC News with Debbie Russ.
Hawaii's Attorney General has ordered an investigation into the handling of the devastating wildfires on the island of Maui. At least 80 people are now known to have died. There are growing questions about whether more could have been done to warn residents. The US says it will spend more than $1 billion on new technology that sucks carbon from the atmosphere. The Energy Department says projects like direct air capture are needed to reverse the growing impact of climate change. A huge data leak in Northern Ireland has prompted nearly 1,000 police and civilian staff to raise concerns about their safety. Information on all 10,000 employees was briefly made public. Officials in eastern Ukraine say early morning shelling by Russian troops has killed an elderly woman in a residential building in Kharkiv region. Earlier, the Russian Defense Ministry said 20 Ukrainian drones were destroyed during an attack on the occupied Crimean Peninsula. More than 1,000 people are expected to take part in a protest in South Korea's capital, Seoul, against Japan's plan to release wastewater from the Fukushima nuclear plant into the ocean. Many in South Korea and China fear environmental damage. Australia's Prime Minister has called on China to release an Australian journalist who's marking 3 years in detention. Chung Lei was tried behind closed doors with supplying state secrets overseas, but any verdict has not been made public. England captain Harry Kane has confirmed he's leaving Tottenham Hotspur for Bayern Munich on a 4-year deal. The German club is paying more than $120 million for the prolific striker. And the last of the quarter-finals at the Women's Football World Cup kick off in Australia shortly. The hosts will play France in Brisbane, and later England face Colombia. That's the latest BBC News.
The world in 2 minutes at 8:30 GMT.
Splash FM 105.5.
State Affairs with Edmund Obilo is live. In the global village of conflicting ideologies and complexities, understanding systems and schemes through awareness and social reconstruction becomes expedient.
They never told you how you offended them?
I'm not on trial, so I can't go before
Join the radio man, Edmund Obilo, on State Affairs for local and international politics, security, extensive economic analysis, interviews, and world power play.
Nigerians must choose the path they want to follow. Follow the same looters and sponsors of violence who control the political structures or encourage the formation of a new leadership team.
Be a global citizen and join the radio revolution on State Affairs. State Affairs with Edmund Obilo. Radio just got deeper.
African soldier, show your power. Oh, save your people from political yabis. I say save Africa from economic jargon. Attention, African soldiers.
You know, when Sonny Okosu did this song, it was in the 80s. We are still talking about the same issues. It simply means Sonny Okosu has awakened that spirit of African nationalism in us. Songs like this inspire us to action. That we have a country, we have a city, and we have a continent to build. We must build Africa. Are you an African soldier? Obafemi Awolowo was an African soldier. Nnamdi Azikiwe was an African soldier. Yes, Kwame Nkrumah, an African soldier. Are you an African soldier? The governor for your state, Seyi Makinde, is talking about sustainable actions for economic recovery. He calls it safer. Governor Makinde plans to stimulate your state economy through short-term plans that will have long-term effects. He's talking of direct interventions, such as food relief package to 200,000 of the poorest of the poor households. And the idea behind SAFER is to stimulate the economy, as most of the items in the package are sourced locally. In a newsletter that the governor sent to me, I don't know if he sent it to you, he says a big part of the SAFER package is in the Oyo State government's 1 billion naira commitment to fund youth agropreneurs and small businesses. He says the government he leads have input distribution to smallholder farmers. The governor also highlighted some of these points in the state broadcast he delivered on the 5th of August, 2023. Let's listen to Mr. Governor.
The Oyo State government has resolved to take the following actions tagged Sustainable Actions for Economic Recovery, SAFER. Our SAFER package will ensure a softer landing for the poorest of the poor and the most vulnerable. It will also address the need for food security through direct intervention to our farmers. Additionally, we shall be making provisions that will ease the transportation pains of our civil servants and other residents of Oyo State. Let me now share the details of our SAFER package. 1. Following the pattern of our actions during the COVID-19 pandemic, we are updating our social register to include 200,000 of the poorest of the poor. This will be provided with immediate food relief packages. As usual, we will ensure transparency in the registration process so that only those who qualify will get this immediate relief. We'll be providing health insurance for 100,000 of our most vulnerable citizens. We'll be paying their 1-year health insurance premium under the Oyo State Health Insurance Agency, OSHA scheme, so that they have access to quality health care without paying out of pocket. The Omitutu bus service will be extended to cover intercity routes from Ibadan to all other zones of Oyo State. Details of their routes will be released in the coming weeks. So we will have the buses going from Ibadan to Ibarapa, Ibadan to Ogbomoso, Ibadan to Okeogun, and Ibadan to Oyo. The fares will be kept at low rates while our senior citizens and students will board the buses at half price. Our farmers have not been left out. To ensure food security, we will be distributing additional inputs to 10,000 farmers. This is in addition to the input support being provided under the World Bank Assisted Oyo State Cares Program. Further details will be released through the relevant agencies in the coming weeks.
State Affairs with Edmund Obilo is live.
That's Governor Makinde talking about sustainable actions for economic recovery. I'll tell you more as we go. But let's talk tech. Let's talk technology. When you talk about the United States, China, they are leading the world because they are leading technology countries. In the digital age, our journey towards prosperity is guided by the beacon of artificial intelligence. Do you care to know what artificial intelligence is? You know, sometimes when you are typing on your phone, you are typing she, you've typed S, and before you know it, she pops up. That's artificial intelligence. The phone knows that, and you just type she, and it comes up. That's artificial intelligence. As we unlock the immense potential of AI, we equip ourselves with a tool that can revolutionize industries, amplify human ingenuity, and drive our nation towards unprecedented heights. From my studies so far, AI isn't just about algorithms and data. It's about a future where innovation knows no bounds. But you know, we're not talking about it because we are talking about food, bad road, health issues, but the rest of the world will not wait for us. As we grapple with these issues, we must also be setting our eyes to the power of tech. Ifeoluwadada, it's good to have you on State Affairs.
Good morning, Mr. Edmund. A wonderful morning.
I'm happy to see you.
I'm very much happy as well to see you for the first time. Well, let me say the second time. I saw you once anyways. I was during the NSAS protest. I was right beside you.
Good.
Yeah.
You love tech. You are a tech enthusiast.
I'm a tech enthusiast.
And you are a data analyst.
Definitely.
What is it about artificial intelligence that young persons must learn now?
All right. Basically, one thing I like to let everyone know is this. Tech, as it is a wide skill set that we are not ready for this discussion, basically. Now, on the aspect of AI that has been in vogue for the past 7 years now, we are now seriously ready to talk about the nitty-gritty behind this particular skill. You mentioned something earlier. You said, just type in she. The S pops up and she comes in. Before she comes in, there are some particular lines of codes that has been integrated with our mobile device. Now, these lines of codes are in different languages. AI itself, as this, is connected to a particular tech skill, the mother tech skill itself, called coding. And this coding is what most people are kind of scared about to lodge in, because they don't have a mentor or someone to orientate them regarding this particular skill. Now, I do say something. Every single device in this world has a connectivity to coding. Quote me anywhere. Either you're using an iOS or you're using Android, iPad, every single gadget device is connected to coding.
You are a computer scientist?
Definitely.
Are you made first class in computer science?
Definitely.
Who should be listening to you now?
Basically, everyone should be listening. Because one thing is, there is no discipline that you studied while on campus that does not need tech. Okay, you're a lawyer, definitely you print out some documents. The documents you're printing out is working with the PC. So automatically you are working with some attributes connected to tech.
It's a tech world.
Definitely.
With AI as your ally, we can enhance healthcare, making accurate diagnostics and personalized treatments a reality. From my study of AI, we can optimize industries, transforming manufacturing, agriculture, and logistics into efficient powerhouses of productivity. Is that true?
That's highly correct.
How?
You know, one thing about AI is this. AI has 7 different categories. Now, in Nigeria as a whole, we basically talk about a single category and we'll just skew through the others. And these others are still parts of the nitty-gritty behind AI. Now, permit me to list these categories. The first one is machine learning, followed by robotics, followed by neural networks, followed by some aspects of computer vision, which is the same thing as virtual reality. We also have fuzzy logic and some aspects of you writing lines of codes to integrate all these categories. Now, the Earth Tech on its own has some series of AI that needs to be integrated into our system in the right perspective. Why are people running away or trying to let go of their basic entities in tech? You, as either an upcoming in tech or maybe you are into intermediate aspects or an expert, there are still some knowledge and wisdom that you need to integrate in your day-to-day activities. Because tech upgrades. That is why the cost to learn a particular skill in tech, most importantly AI, that is connected to coding, is on the high rise.
Now let's bring it down. How can AI solve the problem of that man and woman on the street? How can AI create jobs? I thought AI would take jobs away. How can AI solve health issues? Are doctors going to disappear? Will AI take my job as a radio man?
No, there's a fact I want to clear. You see, AI is being coded by developers. It is just assisting humans. You are not letting me go off my work. Because I developed you, I wrote lines of codes for you to work.
So these are machines that were taught.
Exactly.
With data generated by humans.
Exactly.
So they learn those data.
Exactly.
Now ChatGPT is destroying the work of editors. ChatGPT can write letters, articles for you.
It can write, but remember, you are the one giving it the instruction. ChatGPT will not just start writing letters.
ChatGPT writes a love letter for my beautiful girl, and ChatGPT does the letter for you. So will that person learn English anymore?
Of course, you have to build yourself. Why? You are the one given the instruction. There's something we call computer program. Now, this computer program, there are sets of instructions that tells the computer what to do and how to do it.
You see, if the computer can write a letter for me,
yeah.
Formerly, I used to have a secretary in my office.
Okay.
I said, type this letter for me. I don't need the secretary anymore. That is true. Okay. Because ChatGPT can write a letter.
But remember that the same secretary that you fired can still work with ChatGPT. You know, robotics will not be paid. It is you giving out instruction to the robots that do this for me in form of the secretary. So definitely when the secretary comes in, the secretary needs to instruct the robotic machine that writes this letter, do this, include this, and include this.
Why do I need a secretary to do that? When I have my system in front of me, I just go on ChatGPT, do this and do that. It comes out, and I'm good.
You know, you might be busy. You might be very filled up with loads of work, and just give that job to your secretary.
That loads of work, AI is helping me to do the work, so the loads will reduce.
So in short, you don't want to give the secretary the chance to earn.
It's about money. It's about me keeping my money.
Yeah.
And saving my money. That's what AI should do for me. I should become richer. If I had about 10 persons in my payroll, okay, like in a production studio, you have a production engineer.
Yes.
Who sits in front of the system Adobe.
Yes.
And edit for you, packages. AI can do that now. You train AI on your voice. You just give AI the script, it will voice it. You don't need that production engineer anymore in the studio.
Now, the production engineer should now see to it and learn one skill that wouldn't allow him or her to be out of the market.
Now, Bosu is sitting in front of me here now, operating the buttons here.
Yeah.
In the next 5 years, I might not need Bosu anymore. We program everything in this system. When it's state affairs, it begins to run. Everything has been automated.
Good. Now,
Bosun, where will you go?
It is possible for Mr. Bosun to still be here.
Okay.
He will be the one in charge of writing series of codes and instructing the machine.
We just need one Bosun. There are about 10 of them. Bosun, they run duties. The other 9 will go. Where will they go to?
Then one of them, or few, should learn another skill that will make them try.
So what are the jobs of the future? Where should people move to?
Then the jobs of the future is this. Getting a particular niche in tech. Because one thing is, if people are not ready for this discussion, in 5 years' time, no one will start submitting CV online.
You see, me, I have upgraded. I'm ready for it.
Okay.
I have seen it. I know where it's going. I will not be left behind.
Thank you. That is your own determination. Now, for everyone listening as well, it is now left to you to bring in your own determination and know what aspects exactly you need to go for when it comes to tech.
Now, let me tell you the books I'm reading.
All right.
I've brought some of the books to you. You know, young persons who you say no job, no jobs, there are jobs somehow. You can create them. You can be innovative.
Yes.
And I will recommend some books to you. And I'll continue. Now I'm reading a lot of tech books.
Okay.
There's this book, Blockchain Revolution. Blockchain Revolution. How the technology behind Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies is changing the world. You know, if you know, sometimes the central bank is under threat.
Of course.
With Bitcoin.
Yeah.
And it's about blockchain technology.
Exactly.
And in blockchain, you also have AI.
Of course.
I recommend this book to you. Blockchain Revolution, How the Technology Behind Bitcoin and Other Cryptocurrencies is Changing the World. Written by Don Tapscott and Alex Tapscott, father and son. They wrote this book. Blockchain is the technology driving the future of the economy. It is best known for powering Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies, but it has the potential to transform every industry it touches. Don't be left behind. It allows virtually anything we value, from stocks, music, and intellectual property, to health records, and even our identities, to be stored in a secure and anonymous system that no one person or company owns. You should have this book if you love technology, Blockchain Revolution. Another book I'm recommending to you this morning on tech, Shaping the Future of the Fourth Industrial Revolution. Shaping the Future of the Fourth Industrial Revolution. A guide to building a better world. If you don't know how to find these books, contact me. My number is attached to this stream. If you're watching on Edmund Obilo's pages, you can get the numbers there. 080-309-18449. That's my number, my WhatsApp number. You don't have to call that number. Just send me a message. You can also give me info. I'm getting some information about what is going on in your areas. Soon I'll begin to move into your communities to tackle some of the issues. Remember, it's just WhatsApp message, no calling. Nobody will be there to pick the call, but somebody can be there to reply your messages. No matter the time it takes, we reply. So 080-309-18449. What is the power of books in tech? Do you read tech books, Ifeoluwa?
Definitely. You have to upgrade yourself. There's something they call subconscious mind when it comes to upgrading yourself with books. Around last week or 2 weeks ago, you mentioned some history stuff and like, so that was live. I listened to that program of yours. Nigerians don't read. There's one thing we don't know. This is it. The more we read, the more there's going to be a very deep difference in our lives and living. Nigerians are not ready to read. There's something everyone, even me myself, we make this mistake. This is it. Whenever we download like an application or a program, we normally see some terms and conditions, agreements, very long. Mr. Edmund, I'm very sure you don't always read it.
I have started reading it.
Now, most Nigerians don't read it. I'm guilty of it. It was early this year, I realized that it is a necessary part of that document, that application you downloaded. You need to read it.
When I started reading tech books and the laws on tech, even issues of privacy, I began to read those terms.
Exactly.
In fact, I've started researching on those terms and what you call digital sovereignty, the direction we are moving, the international community, how AI will come into defense, how robotics will come into warfare. They're already in warfare.
Exactly.
You can use drone now. America will send drone to Afghanistan and they are taking down terrorists. It's an entirely new world. You see, we are complaining that Europe and America are dealing with Africa. If we don't step up, they will take over everywhere. You see what these guys are doing with tech? They will take us over. Forget slavery. This time they will capture our hearts. They will capture us. So, and China is not joking.
You see, China on a very large scale, they are moving very, very, very fast.
If I read this book, Digital Silk Road, I'm still trying to see if I can get at least 20 copies. I should give you one.
No problem.
If you see what China is doing with AI, and I see Chinese men walking on the road, when I see Chinese men walking on the road and I see what I'm looking at, I say, I just see them. That guy, they are up to something. If you see what China is doing with AI, even America is scared. That is why America is scared to regulate AI. Because if they slow down, China takes over the world. And yeah, Africa is talking about food, bad road. Where are the tech hubs? How do you operate your technological skills? What hampers your ability?
Now, one thing is, my tech expertise started from my first degree, because one thing that needs to change in Nigeria, if we want to duly learn, is the syllabus of learning. Mr. Edmond, if you go to Poly Ibadan down there, or UI, the syllabus of 2016 is what they are still using in 2023.
Are you even saying 2016? Are you not talking about 1990?
That's it. And this thing needs to upgrade.
When I was studying engineering, we were doing Fortran.
Fortran is outdated.
And you see, if you see the textbook we were reading, at the point I said, man, okay, we're doing Fortran. We could not relate what we were doing to the tech world. It was too abstract. You know, we were not connected. We graduated from engineering. I started asking myself, what's going on? And it's still happening in our institutions in 2023.
Of course.
Nothing has really changed.
Then that should be the basic parts we need to start from. Because if we don't start from the scratch, let this syllabus change. Now, Mr. Edmond, all polytechnics in Nigeria now are still learning Fortran. They are still learning data structure. While the international world is moving to the nitty-gritty,
do we even need to go to universities anymore to learn these things?
Basically, there are some skills that they won't teach you in university, Mr. Edmond. There are some skills. Now, the particular skills that I tutor, like 8-10 different skills, they won't take you the integrity about it in university.
Who do you teach?
I tutor series of individuals. Either you are a beginner, intermediate, or an expert. Because when it comes to learning, some people's brain are different from brain number B. Some people assimilate easily. Some you need to come down to their level for them to understand.
From your teachings, do you see technological revolution in Nigeria anytime soon?
Mr. Edmond, I doubt it. Because most of the tech enthusiasts in Nigeria are leaving.
They are leaving?
They are leaving.
You want to leave?
Definitely, very soon.
If Oluwa, you want to leave?
By the special grace of God, pretty very soon.
Why?
There is no enabling environment, even from the top.
You want to live with your skills?
By the special grace of God. And one thing is, when I leave, now the country where I go to, when they see the attributes that this guy has, they won't want you to go back.
So what do we give you to stay?
Well, if stay in Niger is on a long thing, because the foundation has already spoiled.
Ife?
Sir?
If I made you an offer, would you stay?
At the moment, that offer, there's a very huge and a very best offer waiting for me up there.
You see, we are coming. If we are coming, I know, in fact, there's a very good tech guy working with me. In recent time, he's talking about leaving.
Oh.
And he's saying, don't worry, we'll still be working from anywhere together. You know, my video man has left.
You see?
And he's telling me that he will still be producing me from there. Perhaps Ayo will leave too. Then my documentary photographer may also leave. All around me, they are all leaving.
That's the rudiment, sir.
But I have decided to also make them some offer. But they don't believe in me that we are coming. Why don't you believe that we are coming?
Nigeria will be fine. Nigeria will be fine. That's what I've been hearing for the past 20, 25 years of my life.
Ife Dada is on State Affairs. Don't go away.
State Affairs with Edmund Obilo is live.
Splash FM 105.5.
My dear.
Yes, there.
Mo máa kọjá lágbègbè wọ̀ fún bí mo ṣe ń bọ̀ báyìí. Mo bá rí ọgbà estate ńlá kan tí wọ́n tún ṣe tí gbogbo ẹ̀ ṣe rẹ̀gẹ̀dẹ̀. Ló bá kọ Rayfield Garden City Estate síwájú ẹ̀. Dear, àkókò nìyí fún wa náà láti donílé lórí.
Ṣé kìí ṣe èyí tó wà ní Christopher Adébáyọ̀ Àlàó Akálà ní GRA Àkóbọ̀ extension?
Òun náà ni.
My dear, ibẹ̀ yẹn rẹwà pọ̀ kódà ó wọ èmi gan lójú.
Ìrètí dé pẹ̀lú Pendini Homes. Kọ́ńtàlẹ̀ tún ní pẹ̀lú ìrọ̀rùn. Iṣẹ́ tí wọ́n ní.
Pendini Homes ti gbé ojúlówó ilé tó tayọ bẹ́ẹ̀ láwùjọ wa fún kó wa. Àwọn ilé àwòdàmì ẹnu bíi tòkè òkun tó bá gbà mú. Tó níye ju yàrá tẹ́ ẹ bá fẹ́ pẹ̀lú iná tí kì í ṣẹ́jú. Ààyè tún wà fáwọn olùdókòwò àtẹ̀yìn asọ̀gbẹ́dìgbòrò investors and sub-developers. O lè ra ilé tàbí gbé dúkìá kalẹ̀ sínú Rayfield Garden City Estate tó wà ní Christopher Adébáyọ̀ Àlàó Akálà GRA wọ̀ fún Àkóbọ̀ extension ní Ìwó Road Ìbàdàn. Ẹ kàn sí www.fendinihomes.com tàbí 09029413968 08073454767. Kàn sí Pendini Homes fún ìgbé ayé tó dára.
Join me in praising God.
Ọba àwọn ọba ló sọ̀rọ̀ jáde nínú ìwé Àìsáyà orí 43 ẹsẹ̀ ìkọkàndínlógún pé kíyèsí èmi ó ṣe ohun tuntun kan nísinsìnyí ni yóò wù jáde ẹ̀yin kì yóò wá mọ̀ ọ́ bí lóòótọ́ èmi ó la ọ̀nà kan nínú aginjù àti odò ní aṣálẹ̀. Èyí gan ló mú kí gospel gbẹ̀du pẹ̀lú Ṣọlá Àrẹ̀wò ní Lágẹ̀lú FM ṣàgbékalẹ̀ ayẹyẹ ètò orin yìí Mega Child and Friends ẹlẹ́ẹ̀kẹta rú ẹ̀ àti ìdúpẹ́ ọjọ́ bí Ṣọlá Àrẹ̀wò gan fúnra ẹ̀ ọjọ́ 13 oṣù kẹjọ nínú ọdún tàwa yìí gan ni ó mọ sọkútù wọ̀wọ̀ tí ó sì bẹ̀rẹ̀ látago kọ̀ọ̀sán àkòrí orin yìí ọ̀hún ni kíyèsí ìgbà ọ̀tun. Lára àwọn èèyàn tí ó mọ fọwọ́ Ọlọ́run wálẹ̀ láti pàṣẹ orin ẹ̀mí wọn ni ọmọbakùnrin Gòkè Bájọwà Kẹ́mi Riobolt The Dancers Ṣadé Àpótí Ẹ̀rí J-Twins Ṣẹ́gun Singer MC Rapping Daddy MC22 kò tán síbẹ̀ o Èso Jésù Bàbá Ayọ̀ni àti The Exto Dancers àwọn náà ni wọ́n mọ fijó dára fọba àwọn ọba àwọn tẹ́tù máa fojú rinjú pẹ̀lú wọn ni Edmund Obilo The Radio Man Tony Roland Awobode Donty Rẹ̀mí àti Rẹ̀mí Lágẹ̀lú FM ni wọ́n mọ darí ètò lọ́jọ́ ọ̀hún nígbà tí ọ̀rọ̀ Ọlọ́run alààyè ó mọ jáde látẹnu bàbá wa nínú Olúwa olùgbàlejò olùṣọ́ àgùntàn Bọ́lá Oyèdìran tí ọ̀rọ̀ àṣẹ wòlíì yóò sì máa jáde látẹnu bàbá wa nínú Olúwa Most Superior Evangelist Prophet Dr. Olúṣẹ́gun Williams ibi ìpéjọpọ̀ ọ̀hún ni The Holy Church of Enakore lẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́ ilé ẹ̀kọ́ Rubis Fẹ́lẹ́lẹ̀ ìlú Ìbàdàn fún ẹ̀kúnrẹ́rẹ́ àlàyé 08030761090. Ọjọ́ 13 oṣù kẹjọ ọjọ́ tí Ọlọ́run ti dá ni a ó yọ̀ inú wa yóò sì dùn pinnu láti wà ńbẹ̀.
Uncle Dentist, what are cavities and how does Colgate protect my teeth from cavities? Does it use Kung Fu?
No, dear. Most tooth pains are caused by tooth holes called cavities. When you brush daily with Colgate Maximum Cavity Protection, its expert formula locks natural calcium in our teeth and helps protect them from cavities.
It's time to upgrade to the world's most chosen toothpaste, Colgate, because Colgate locks calcium in.
Colgate is recommended by the Nigerian Dental Association.
It's a new dawn in the world of education as West Midlands Open University, WMOU, a new online university, receives licensing approval to offer degree-granting programs in Nigeria. WMOU is bringing university education close to you in faculties of business, social sciences, and various courses like accounting, business management, economics, and lots more to choose from. Our courses are flexible and you get to choose your learning environment, which allows professionals and anyone in the workforce to further their education with ease. Flexible payment options are available, but various other ways to make studying with us more affordable. Enroll at WMOU to get that degree today. For more inquiries and updates, follow us on any of our social media platforms at WMOU Nigeria on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. On LinkedIn and YouTube, it's West Midlands Open University. Admission date for the September session will be announced soon, so get ready. WMOU, another first in the Ibadan's educational history.
Are you in need of a nice and comfortable, fully furnished hostel accommodation in the University of Ibadan? Or are you in search of a place for seminars and executive trainings? Look no further. Adebayo Akonde Hall is the go-to place for your lodging needs with a home away from home feel. Adebayo Akonde Hall is a 4-star hostel built in a serene environment with constant supply of electricity. It has fully furnished rooms that gives you great comfort at an affordable price. Adebayo Akonde Hall is located at Ajibode Extension, University of Ibadan. For inquiries and reservations, visit www.adebayohall.com or call 080-5699-8718 or 080-5699-8719 or 080-5699-8720. Adebayo Akonde Hall. Built for comfort. Built for you.
Uncle Dentist, what are cavities and how does Colgate protect my teeth from cavities? Does it use Kung Fu?
No, dear. Most tooth pains are caused by tooth holes called cavities. When you brush daily with Colgate Maximum Cavity Protection, its expert formula locks natural calcium in our teeth and helps protect them from cavities.
It's time to upgrade to the world's most chosen toothpaste, Colgate, because Colgate locks calcium in.
Colgate is recommended by the Nigerian Dental Association.
Bàbá, ẹ dákun a fẹ́ wọnú ẹgbẹ́ àgbà. Àìsàn abáàdì tí ń ṣọ̀rẹ́ mi. Ó ti lo gbogbo oògùn. Ó ní ọlọ́rìí fẹsẹ̀ létọ̀ọ́. Lóòótọ́ làwọn àìsàn afínní nàkànàkàn bẹ̀ tó jẹ́ pé tí wọ́n bá rọ́ọ̀lù yàn pẹ́rẹ́ fúnra oníkọ́ ní ọ̀fẹ́ máa fẹnu ara rẹ̀ pẹ́kú. Aṣíwájú elégbòogi herbal therapy lọ́nà àbáyọ bírú ẹ̀ bá ṣẹlẹ̀ mọ́ wulẹ̀ po kámbáàdì mu nítorí àìsàn tí òjú tàṣíwájú elégbòogi ó tàn pẹ́pẹ́ dànù. Àwọn irinṣẹ́ àgbàlódé ló sẹ̀ ti kalẹ̀ yìí tí wọ́n kọ́kọ́ fi ṣàyẹ̀wò kí wọ́n lè mọ tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ lágọ̀ọ́ ara gan lábẹ́ ìdarí akọ́ṣẹ́mọṣẹ́ medical consultant tó dúró tán. Gbàgàdà lọ́fíìsì wá sí dàálẹ̀ látàgò 9 àárọ̀ sí 4 àrọ̀lẹ́ lọ́jọ́ Monday sí Friday, àgọ́ 9 àárọ̀ sí 3 ọ̀sán ni lọ́jọ́ Saturday. 49 Sango UI Road beside Fat Oil Filling Station opposite Sango Police Station Ibadan. 0802-223-3370 0802-223-3370. Ẹ dúró gbé gbogbo ẹ̀sán tí ń jẹ kòbókò lọ́wọ́ aṣíwájú elégbòogi herbal therapy.
Southwest, this is Jesus the Light.
Coming up every Sunday, 7 p.m., beginning July 2nd on Splash FM 105.5.
Ètò Jésù ní ìmọ́lẹ̀ ayé la mú wá tí ó máa bẹ̀rẹ̀ ní gbogbo alẹ́ ọjọ́ Sunday láago 7 bẹ̀rẹ̀ látọjọ́ kejì oṣù keje lórí iléeṣẹ́ rédíò Splash FM 105.5.
Just straight Bible teaching, no offering, no denomination.
Ẹ̀kọ́ Bíbélì pọ́nbélé la fẹ́ kọ́ kò sí ìdámẹ́wàá kò sówó ọrẹ.
It is clear, compelling, convicting and comforting.
Àwọn ẹ̀kọ́ Bíbélì wọ̀nyí yóò tú òǹdè ẹ̀ṣẹ̀ àti ti ẹ̀sìn sílẹ̀ kúrò nínú ìgbèkùn wọn.
This is Jesus the Light every Sunday 7 p.m. beginning July 2nd on Splash FM 105.5.
Ètò Jésù nìmọ́lẹ̀ ayé rèé tí ó máa wáyé ní gbogbo alẹ́ Sunday bẹ̀rẹ̀ látọjọ́ kejì oṣù keje ọdún tá a wà nù rẹ̀ yìí níléeṣẹ́ rédíò Splash FM 105.5 Ìbàdàn.
Splash FM 105.5.
State Affairs with Edmund Obilo is live.
The program is State Affairs on Splash 105.5 FM, the Integrity Station. I have Ifeoluwa Dada on State Affairs. We are talking technology. But as we talk tech, let's look at what the governor of your state, Seyi Makinde, is up to. He says a big part of the CFA package is the Oyo State government 1 billion naira commitment to fund youth agropreneurs and small businesses. The governor elaborated on this in his August 5th state broadcast to the people.
Our youth agropreneurs who were trained under the Youth Entrepreneurship in Agribusiness Project, YEP, and have established businesses will also have an opportunity to contribute to food security and sustainable development, as they will receive enterprise support of 500 million naira under the CFA package. They will get further directives on how they will benefit from the relevant agencies. We have also resolved to assist small businesses to stay afloat through low interest rate loans with the provision of 500 million naira facility. Our traders, artisans, and other small business operators can apply for these loans through designated microfinance banks. Details of how they may enroll for and access these loans will be announced by the relevant agencies. Tertiary institution students in Oyo State will board the Omitutu buses at half price upon showing their school identity card. We will also be meeting with the student leaders of tertiary institutions in Oyo State to agree on further measures which will be added to the safer package for students.
State Affairs with Edmund Obilo is live